All right, good morning, you guys. So I'm going to show you a couple other little tools here that might be helpful for either the current assignment you are on or for one coming up. Okay, so one thing we found that in order to bring a picture in to kind of look at and draw, you need to save it to Google Drive in order to bring it up into Illustrator. And I'm going to hope it's going to work this time. So I went to the file there, open, found Google Drive, My Drive on your iPad. This is going to look probably a little different. Okay, now I got to find it. Okay, it says working on it. So I got to wait a second here for them to bring it up. All right, and so I just kind of saved one called Strawberry. So we'll see if we can find it in here as it's scrolling through. Soup. There it is. All right. So you can see it brought in an image quite large. I'm going to back up my screen here so we can maybe see it a little bit more. All right, so actually what it did is it brought it to a whole other page. Sometimes it'll just plop it on the one page itself. Other times it might do another. So what we can do is grab the black arrow up there. So if it did bring it over on its own little thing, and I am going to do Control copy. So I think, yeah, so if your pads or I got to remember how to do that on the pad. But anyways, we're going to copy it. And then I'm going over to the other screen that I'm going to draw with. Okay. And we're going to bring it to there. With that same black arrow, I'm just going to drag it off to the side. Or you might want to keep it there to kind of help you draw over it if you were using the pen tools, paintbrush tool, or any of those. If you are going to start with the shape tool, okay, you may want that to the side. Now, another little tip here is the eyedropper right there. If we click on that and click on a spot, my strawberry, notice to the left there, it shows that color already. So that's the great thing about the eyedropper. It is a color chooser. I'm going to go over to my shape tool, but I'm going to use the ellipse because that's a closer shape to the strawberry. So I want to see that. So you're going to see I'm going to start just kind of making my ellipse shape here. Now, obviously not quite the right shape we need, but we can add to that. If we grab the pen tool, I just want to make sure we got the right one, and we kind of click on the path. Oops, let me do the other one first. Whoops, undo pen. I'm going to click on this, activate this with the black arrow, but then use my pen, and I can come to the outside then. You want that outer path, and you click. Okay, so now if I grab my white arrow, I can go onto each of those points, those white squares, so to speak, and I can start moving and changing the shape. So this is one way that you can play around with and move your shapes and play them. Now notice that within this too, don't like that one, is that there's little bars. Now they're hard to see because we are zoomed out. So I'm going to try to zoom in on this a little more. And you can see that there's these bars. These bars are going to help change the shape. Okay. So they kind of change, as you can see, as I'm moving it, how that shape should look and be. So it can smooth things out and change them differently. All right. So we're going to go back out. So kind of play around with that till you get your shape that you want. So that's one way of manipulating and changing a shape. Okay. Now, don't forget in there, like that star tool, that would be good for the strawberry top. One thing I don't think for those of you at home I didn't show was what's up here under object. It's called create gradient mesh. And this will allow you, I like upping this number, but you can decide how few or how many. This just creates cross points of bars in your shape. So I did mine in 8. So again, I am going to zoom in a little bit here. But this is going to allow me to create some values, okay? Just going to scooch my screen over so you can see it a little better. So with this, what I'm going to do is we have it selected. I'm going to grab my white direct selection arrow, and we have some highlights in this point. Now you could do it one at a time. Click on it. I'm going to go to my eyedropper right now and click to highlight. Notice over here, it made a lighter area. If you want to do more than one point at a time, click on one first, then hold the shift key down, and you can hit multiple. Go back to the eyedropper, click on that range that you want. Okay, so I can do this with darker values in the shaded area too. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to click out of it. You can see that kind of did it. Now you can mess with the grids a little bit. Be careful though. Okay, when you start changing them, you don't want to manipulate them so much where you cross the points. Okay, it doesn't want me to get to the points right now. But if I get one of those white paths, you can see then how that will allow me to change and adjust how I want that to look. Okay, so we have that. Some people, again, were using the pen tool. And with that, you kind of click your pathway. So right now you can see I have the solid color chosen, right? My fill. So that's why it's filling my strawberry. Okay, now, yep, it's a little bumpy and lumpy on it, but we can try to go back afterwards. Grab, I think, the black arrow, or is it the white again? And you should be able to go and change, again, some of those points too, I think. All right, and with the path, I'm gonna go back to the point. All right. Okay, it's doing it again. Okay, I'm gonna flip-flop these a second. We're gonna come back to that. Oh, now my white points are there. So if I switched, oops, I'm going to flip-flop these colors. So my line is just the red, okay, and not the fill. So you can see that how that can change too. All right. Even with these, notice we got the anchors and the bars like we did when we did the shape, I can't even talk, shape manipulation. All right, it is not letting me grab. I thought it was the right one. All right. I'm trying to grab the right tool. Okay, so there too, you can see with these bars, you can change and it can help smooth out a shape. Okay, right now because I cross paths, not so good with it, all right? But those bars will help kind of get the curves. Now I've got a whole other shape going on top of the other. All right, play with that a little bit. Clearly I need some work on it as well. All right, so with that one, I would just probably select and get rid of. Didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, but you can see then that the line is red, and you can see how you can use that as a drawing tool as well. The paintbrush, you can do it with, but it you won't ever get a thin line. So if you're looking for the thinner line, you are going to have to switch. It looks more like a heart, but you can see with that. The pencil will get you the thinner, but there too, you kind of are doing, I can change the thickness of that by coming over here to the stroke and changing the size. And you can go less than, oh, I don't know if it changed it. See if now it would make it thinner. Yeah, there now it's a little thinner for the new one. All right, so again, playing around with those. I'm gonna come up here and delete a couple things because there's one last thing I kind of want to show you to play with. So I'm just gonna get rid of some of the stuff that's here. All right, and come back to it. So if I was going to go with the shape here again, I'm going to go here. I'm going to bump my stroke up a little thicker, maybe go to a 7. I'm going to hold the shift key because I want a good circle. All right, so now we see that we have the circle. All right, if I click out of it, you can see it a little better. All right, and I'm going to come over here and go layers. Oh, mine, it let me out a layer. Okay, might be, I think we're on selection of something. Okay, if I come back to this, I'm going to do copy it. Okay, So that could be coming up under Edit, Copy. Okay, if you don't have the keypads to work with on like the iPad. And then I am going to go Edit, Paste. Okay, and notice I have two. So if, and it wants to make a third. Okay, so what I'm going to do is stack these two. All right, so they're right on top of each other. This is going to allow me that if I choose to go the type on the path, all right, and I click on this, and I'm going to go back over here to my properties, and here's where you can choose whatever font you want. Okay, I got to bring that down a little bit. You can choose your size. We're going to go with something maybe a little bigger like that. Let's see, we want a different, yeah, black will work for it. Okay, so you can see even with that now, it left the shape I typed on because I put two. It actually got rid of the one I typed on, but because we copied one over the other, it kept that. Now this is going to be important in case you want to do this with your logos. Again, I clicked on it with the black arrow, and then notice I get these bars here that can help me center, can help me flip. Okay, if I kept kind of going, whoop, there, click on it again, I lost my black. There we go. So again, with this, moving around, I mean, all right, and flip, and even to go on the inside. So you have all these different kind of things that you can play with and mess with between drawing tools, the type tools. And again, all this is about exploring what we can. All right, so just wanted to show you a few other little tips, tricks, and things to work with. And I'll come up with more, and hopefully you will explore some as well. All right. Until next time.